hope y'all ready because we got good stuff today. We've been working real hard too. Look, oh, y'all, Reggie worked me hard today. She made me work for my money.
We just had a full day.
Oh,
Yeah, can't you tell? But that's all right. Look,
we cute though.
we do what we do.
That's the important part here, is to be cute all the time. Listen, we have a great guest today that I'm so excited to have because I always love having conversation with her.
Yeah.
You know, because when we have conversation with her, it's just real conversation.
It really is.
It is. And so we've got a great guest for you today. But before we tell you that, I guess we should introduce ourselves.
Yes.
Yes. So I am Colette Portis, co-founder and COO of Red Development Group, and my amazing co-host.
And I am Reggie Stearns Kemp, and we are excited to be here today with you.
Yay! Yes. So I'm just trying to make sure y'all can hear us really good. So, all week has been. This has been a great week, Reggie. It's only Tuesday.
I know.
Yeah, it's only Tuesday, but it's been a great week. So, who is Red Development Group? Red Development Group is a global business development firm that is focused on making sure that you get what you deserve out of your business, because so many of us start and put everything in our lives into our business. We neglect our children and whatnot and what have you. And some of us get through it and never get what we deserve or what we came for.
Right.
Yeah.
And they don't know where they got lost in the process.
They don't know where they got lost in the process. Yes. So we focus on making sure we help you evaluate your business, because you can't figure out where you're going if you don't know where you're at or where you've been.
That's right.
That's important. That's pretty important. And then we also focus on making sure that you plan. Planning is important. Oh my God. Do you want to be successful? Because you plan for success. That it does not just happen. It's not one of those things that you can go, oh, I can't believe we stumbled it. No, you don't stumble into it. You have to have a plan for your success. So we make sure that you plan. We evaluate where you are. And most importantly, for most of us, especially those of us who are high energy, determined people, we make sure you execute it. You know, a lot of times, Reggie, people think execution is about writing the plan and then just go doing it. No, writing the plan, going to do it, and adjusting where you need to adjust is where execution is.
And not being so hard on yourself when you have to adjust. It's okay.
Yes, exactly. So listen. So our topic for today, is evaluation. We figure we talk about that. What the heck do they mean when they say it's going to help you? How do you even do that? So we're going to talk about evaluation again. But before we talk about it, let me tell you what it means, though. Let me tell you what it means.
And we have the definitions, right?
Yeah. Because I mean, contrary to popular belief, I'm a nerd. I like them little things they call words. I like them.
I know.
Because they mean some good stuff if you use them right.
They really do.
Not everybody uses them right, though. So we're going to make sure that when you're talking about evaluation that you use it right? So evaluation, a systematic. Yeah, that's the pregnant pause. I'm pausing there because I want you to remember that I said systematic.
Because it's important.
Because it's important, right? A systematic determination of a subject's merit, worth. What? You mean to tell me? Yeah, okay. And significance. Oh, that one gets lost a lot of time in business. Are you significant? Is what you're doing important to the marketplace? Do we need it? Or you just thought it was a good idea to do it, and so you set out and start doing it, and then you got upset because we didn't want to buy it because I don't know. Maybe we
Right.
didn't need it or it wasn't that significant.
That's right. Or maybe you're in the wrong market.
Oh, well, you mean to
Yeah,
tell me that could happen?
that could happen.
Okay, well, then you could be in the wrong market.
Mhm.
So, a systematic determination of a subject's merit, worth, and significance using criteria
Mhm.
governed by a set of standards.
Mhm.
Where do we get these standards from?
Everything we do, there's a set of standards that govern everything we do.
You mean to tell me boss ladies got to have a set of standards?
Standards and accountability.
You mean to tell me the CEO got to have some standards?
Every area, administration, personnel, file, everything has a standard.
You mean to tell me the directors got to have some standards? Because you know we did that because we want to be our own boss. We don't want to listen to nothing to nobody, no people, because we're smarter than everybody.
Oh,
You know.
okay. That doesn't last long.
No, well,
You know.
But just because of that don't mean you can't have no standards.
Okay, so COVID showed us a lot of things about standards and what was in place and not in place and what was needed. So now it's time to really evaluate and make some changes.
Exactly. Y'all
And
see
that's
how
in
Reggie
every
played that
industry.
evaluate back?
Mhm.
That's why she my girl. She played it back for us. I'm just
Look,
saying.
every industry.
Yes.
It does not matter.
Yes.
I'm amazed sometimes when people say, well, what industry do you serve? This is business.
Oh,
It really, really is.
I'm
The
so glad you
infrastructure
said
of
that.
businesses.
Yes. Listen, there are a lot of B2B, business to business services that need to be industry specific. Well, when you're a business growth coach, the bones and the skeleton, I know y'all probably heard me say it before, the bones and the skeleton of a business are the bones and the skeleton of any business. They do not change just because your business is different, just because you sell, neckties as opposed to apple pies. The structure of your business remains the same, period. So the question is, what then are the bones? Like our bodies have bones and stuff and whatnot and what have you. Well, what are the bones of a business? That's what you want to know. That's what you need to find out. That's why you need a coach. And not just any coach. Oh my goodness, no.
And you know what? That was a good analogy because everybody has the same skeletal framework.
Mm-hmm.
The same with business.
And it doesn't matter if you're 2 months old, 2 weeks old, 200 years old. Your bone structure is everybody got the same things for the most part, right? So
we can drop the mic right there.
Well, Reggie said the show's over. We did it.
Done. Did.
We won't leave yet. We won't leave yet. But I am saying we saying something. I mean, I'm just saying. So the bones of a business are the same. It doesn't matter what kind of business it is, but when you don't know what kind of bones your business has or what the functions are of those bones, then you have a problem, right? It's like trying to use your feet to use your fork to eat your food. Now, some people have mastered it because they had to, but I'm sure they'd much rather have some hands.
Right, I agree.
Yeah. So, we have a question for today. And so we want you to make sure that you are commenting or answering the question in the comments because we want to hear from you. This is an opportunity. People pay us good money to do what we do.
Yeah. And I'm always amazed when I run into people and they're like, well, I took notes. Like, but you didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Like you didn't talk back to us.
Talk back to us so we can talk back to you,
yeah.
so that we can say hi, so that we can, do all of that stuff. And we can answer your questions. If you have a question, listen, let me tell you something. The entrepreneur that's not that smart is the one that was afraid to ask the question. The smartest ones in the room, the ones that will win without a shadow of a doubt, are the ones who don't care about what anybody else is thinking. They're going to ask the question because they're here to get something. So guess what? You should be here to get something. Get what you're supposed to get.
And I think that's why I love our guests.
Yeah.
Whenever she has a question,
That
a
is
doubt, a
true.
concern, she speaks up.
She does. And she's not afraid to
Mm-mm.
say or ask or be open and honest. But that's the sign of a winner. Being afraid to say something or to put it all on the table, that's not the sign of a winner. Now let me preface my statement by saying that you don't put your stuff on every table. You got to know what table to put it on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying this is a pretty good table. That's all I'm saying,
It is.
right? So, question of the day is how will you know when you get there?
Mm.
Remember, we're talking about evaluation. That's our topic, right? How will you know when you get to the place? Have you even determined what the place is?
Mm-hmm.
And then the question is, how will you know when you get there? That's a great question to answer. So I'm looking forward to seeing your answers in the chat because, or in the comments, because I want to know how will you know when you get there? What will it look like when you get there? Number one, that question is absolutely important because you got to keep the vision in front of you. Because if you don't keep the vision in front of you, you might veer off to the next shiny thing, and then you're off on a tangent, and you might not ever get to there.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure you're keeping the vision in front of you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. How will you know when to hire? How will you know
Oh,
when to increase the cost of the product? How will you know when you need company vehicles? I mean, there's just a list of how will you know.
how will you know if you should apply for any of
Oh,
those loans that are out there? Because all of us shouldn't be doing that.
how will you know what to do with the money when you receive the money?
How will you know what to do with the money when you receive it? Very good questions. How will you know when you get there? How will you know if the moves you made today are actually getting you to there,
Mm-hmm.
getting you to the place or the destination? You have to keep the vision in front of you. So tell us where your there is and tell us how you know if you're there.
And then how will you know if you're serving the same clients that you were serving prior to COVID?
Absolutely.
How will you know they have the same needs?
Well, then you probably need to evaluate what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah. Evaluate what you're doing to see if it's still relevant, or what was that word again? To see if it was still significant.
If there's still merit to what you are doing.
Is there still merit to what you are doing? And is it worth it?
Mm-hmm.
And is it not only worth it for you, but is it worth it to anyone else?
Yes.
Does it have value for someone else? So, with that said, we're looking forward to your comments and whatnot, what have you. But we want to bring on our guest so we can have some good conversation with her because she's awesome.
Come on in the room.
Yes, yes, yes. So we're gonna bring our guest in, and she's gonna have some good conversation with us because we like to have good conversation. Yes, yes, yes. Hello, Darlisa.
Hi, how are you guys?
We're awesome. Oh,
Oh,
look at you. You
thanks.
cute
I was trying to get my screen together. You see my screen? Is it better? I'll take off my glasses.
Look, you
look
good.
Wonderful.
We like when people show up cute. You know, these days we show up with COVID ready. Which means we got on a t-shirt and possibly some bottoms. That we ain't all got bottoms on.
Yeah, yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So you cute,
I was watching on Facebook. I was watching you guys on Facebook.
Good. Hey. Well, so we hope you know this is gonna be fun.
Yeah, I like fun.
Yeah, and we love talking to you because guess what? Listen, and this is what first of all, can we tell the people can we tell the people who she is?
Please.
Okay. So we have Miss Darlisa Diltz, who is, I just knew she was phenomenal from the first time I met her. She has the only female minority female owned education center and co-working space for entrepreneurs. And it is called the North Texas Entrepreneurs Education and Training Center. And she really works hard to make sure that if you think you got the entrepreneurial bug, you think you want to do this, and she's going to help you determine whether or not you want to do it, get started, and not just do it, but do it big.
She's going to help you evaluate. That's our word for the day.
Yes, yes. The word for the day is evaluate, and she will help you do that. So welcome, Miss Darlisa.
Thank you all for having me. I really appreciate being on today.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we got some good questions for you.
Okay.
So first off, tell us about North Texas Entrepreneur Education and Training Center. What is it? Why is it?
Yes.
All that good stuff.
So the North Texas Entrepreneur Education and Training Center is a facility that serves as a triage for entrepreneurs, and not just entrepreneurs, but for those that are interested in entrepreneurship. There are so many amazing resources out there. Google, all the way up to a paid coach, right?
Yes.
Everything in between. However, when a person is starting out, they don't really know what they're getting into. And so what the North Texas Entrepreneur Education and Training Center does is we work to develop you as an entrepreneur. And we work to do that by collaborating with local entities, organizations, business owners, and help to strengthen what entrepreneurship looks like. So in my mind, we are creating a community, or I like the term ecosystem, if you will, for entrepreneurs to feel safe and be able to approach entrepreneurship without stigma, without bias, because we believe that entrepreneurship should be accessible to anyone willing to put in the work for it. So that's what we do. We have created a platform for entrepreneurs to learn and engage.
So, Darlisa, why did you think that was important?
So I come from a world where entrepreneurship in my mind didn't exist. I didn't know what that was. I understood how to get education. I understood how to climb the corporate ladder. I understood that, you have to go to work and you have to work hard for the money that you're making, not realizing that there was this whole other opportunity out there. So I was very blessed to be introduced to entrepreneurship, did a lot of work in entrepreneurship through the SBDC back in Missouri. And through that, I realized that there were still some gaps that were out there. Yes, the SBDC, SCORE, the Women's Business Centers, those are such wonderful organizations, right? But if you're not ready for them,
yes,
they really can't service you like some people may need to, simply because for a lot of those people, with the exception of SCORE, that's a job. And they have matrix and they have numbers that they have to meet. And so I felt like it was important, this group of people that they have this idea, they're storming, norming, forming, and there was a lull between sustainability, growth, all that kind of stuff. And so because I'm very big on teaching, I'm a question asker, so I learn for fun, and some people don't. And so I just wanted to create this hybrid of opportunity for people. And then too, for the underserved, and underutilized people, there's not a lot of resources. And sometimes people can feel displaced or whatever. And so I just felt like I wanted to make some kind of impact to make sure that people can have access to entrepreneurship if they want to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you said some key stuff. So one thing you said is triage.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that because, we all understand what urgent care is. We understand that urgent care is going to get us fixed up. so we can live to see another day.
Mhm.
Right? We understand that if we're dying, we're probably not going to go to urgent care. We'll probably go to the ER. But we know that urgent care can really help to revive us, get us back moving and on track.
Mhm.
And I love the fact that you use that word because knowing you, like that is it. You're like, we're not putting you in no hospital bed and sitting you around here for 2 weeks. You got to get up and move.
Mhm.
You got to get up and do the look. You're bandaged up. It's time to go.
Yeah.
Right. And then you said, you talked about it being a safe place. And I think when we have the conversation about entrepreneurship, we don't have that conversation enough. And so, one of the things that we were saying about you in particular is, and then other really smart business owners, is they show up in a space to come and get what they're supposed to get. They don't care what somebody think about their questions. They don't care what somebody thinks about their comment,
Right.
right? They lay it on the table. It's like,
Right.
look, I come to get something. I
Mhm.
don't care about what everybody else is doing. But
Mhm.
that requires two safe places: safe and secure in yourself,
Right.
and then the table that you're at being a safe place for you to be able to do that. Why
Mhm.
why was safety even something that was even on your mind when you thought about
Because everywhere as a entrepreneur or a wantrepreneur or a
that?
superpreneur, you don't feel safe, right? And I'm sure you guys can agree with this. We go through these phases where we try to fit in,
Yeah.
right? And as an entrepreneur, you can't fit in, right? You have to get out there and you have to do what makes it work for you, your business, your vision. And I know I used to be guilty of it when I first started. You want to set this precedence because you want people to feel a certain kind of way so that they can receive you a certain kind of way. And that's not always the case. And so we just wanted to create an atmosphere where, like you mentioned about getting on the Zoom calls, look, you don't have to come in here any certain kind of way. You don't have to present any type of anything. You coming is good enough.
Yeah.
As long as you're willing to put in that work and you're willing to be open, and learn and things like that. Because, we've been there.
Yeah.
We have been there.
Yeah.
And we want other people to feel like they can come in and say, so I don't have anything but this idea. And I really think it's a good idea and I want to see where it goes. Okay. You know, we don't want people to feel limited
Right.
or afraid because entrepreneurship is scary enough, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So having a haven of people that will say, girl, look, been there, you okay, you're good, or sir, it's okay, we get it. Like, no worries, if you want to bake cupcakes, all right. Can I get one when you finish?
Do you have any cupcakes in your bag?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me, what do you hope to accomplish with NTEETC?
My hope, honestly, is that we be seen as a training center specific to entrepreneurs. And that's entrepreneurs of any facet. So it's an ongoing pendulum where people can come and they can get what they need and they can leave. We just want to be an avenue, a resource for growth and development of entrepreneurs.
Mhm.
And that's pretty much it. We just want to be known as literally the place where entrepreneurs can go, get what they need to grow and sustain in business.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I typically don't ask this question, at least in this setting. On my radio show, I always ask it, but in this setting, I don't. But for whatever reason, I want to ask this question today. Is so what has your journey been like? Because you really you struck out and did something that none of the rest of us
Right.
have done. Like we didn't, none of the rest of us have said we're the place for entrepreneurs to come and learn, and not just learn. You can office here too, you know, that's cool with us, but you've done something that there's not a whole lot of us across the country that have done what you've done. So tell us about your journey. How did you even get to that place? And then how did you get to where you are now?
So first I'm going to start off by saying, I had to go to God and ask God my purpose. I had to find out why, what did he want me to do? I've been through a few things in my life, right? And I've always liked helping people. I've always liked teaching or training, talking. I'm gonna say that I enjoy talking, and I went through a season of my life where I wanted to give everything up, and I thought that I was going to move into a profession that would have paid six figures, all that kind of stuff. I have degrees. I did try to, do the corporate thing. Um, and when I tried to do it Darlisa's way, he showed me, no, this is not what you're going to do. And so I had to ask God what my purpose was. And when he told me, I'm like, what? Did y'all hear that? Nobody was in the room, but I'm like, did y'all hear that? And I just, told him, if this is the path you want me to, if this is what you want me to do, then you'll have to lead me and direct me. And literally, that's what he's done. Because if I would have continued on Darlisa's path, this is not what I would have been doing. So it has totally, honestly been on the strength of the good Lord, his favor, his grace, and his vision, and just me. I'm not gonna say being obedient like that, because I don't be obedient all the time.
Yeah.
But
We're leaders, so you sometimes we need a little more convincing. Yeah.
exactly. But just trying to ensure that I'm following God's will.
So, Darlisa, we have followers and people that are in different cities and states. So, what would you tell someone who wants to be an entrepreneur? What would you tell them during this time? Because they may not be able to get to you, but what would you recommend to them?
Just stay connected. There is someone somewhere, an organization, a person, and if they're following you guys, they're already winning, right? So stay connected. Now, believe it or not, is a perfect time to invest in that vision. And when people hear the term invest, they automatically think money. No. When I tell you the whale is running right now, now is a great time. And start from where you are. Ask questions, reach out. I like what you guys said earlier, don't be afraid to ask questions, because that's how you learn.
Yeah.
So if there is someone that is looking to start a business, you had an idea or whatever, it could be the smallest thing. Push, go for it, find out, take those steps, follow up with you guys. There's too many opportunities right now. And I just say, do it, go for it.
Yeah. So I'm reading one of a book by one of my favorite authors, Napoleon Hill, and the title of the book is How to Outwit the Devil, and it is good. I'm telling you, everybody needs to read it, especially if you are working to change your life. You need to read it. But one of the points that he made in the book today was about one, connecting with the right people, but two, you have to be willing to go do the work, but making sure that you're willing to go do the right work.
Mm-hmm.
and having the right conversations, because I think a lot of times we don't even think about um, how powerful our thoughts are,
Mm-hmm.
and how every thought drives your actions, and then it drives what comes out of your mouth. And so if you're not thinking your way clear, then you're thinking your way unclear. And so if you're not asking questions, if you're not connecting with the right people, if you're not staying connected with the right people, getting the right information, inundating yourself and your subconscious mind with good seed, good fruit, good information consistently, because there's another great book by Joyce Myers called Battlefield of the Mind. If you haven't read that, you need
I've
to.
read that one.
That one is good, because every day really, I believe at the essence of who we are, the bottom line of who everybody is. Our work every day is control of this. If we can control this, there is nothing in the world that we can't do. Nothing, as long as you can control your mind. And so when you talk about making sure that they're connected to the right people, pushing, because if you're not connected to the right people, people will tell you stuff like, you work too hard. Why are you doing that? You should come out with us. You need to take some time off. You need to, right now it's not time for me to take off. I had a friend say to me the other day, he says, well, what are you gonna do when you turn 65 if you're doing everything right now? I said, honey, I'm gonna be on permanent vacation. Right. That's what I'm gonna be on while you still working, trying to collect your your Social Security. I'll be on permanent vacation, balling out of control. That's that's what I'm gonna be doing. But I think it's important that we remember that who you connect with is pertinent to your success. And one of the things, Darlisa been stuck with me since I met her. She really has. But part of it is I see who she connects with, number one. And you always want to be connected to greatness. Like, listen, good is the enemy to great. Another good book. Good to great. Good is the enemy of great. If you see someone who's great, connect with them. Right. But you need to bring your greatness too, because you can't just be there sucking the air out of the room and you're not putting anything back into it.
And you can't decide that their greatness is all of a sudden your greatness.
That's good. That's good.
True.
That's good. That's true. But here's the other thing. This is what I love about the relationship that Darlisa and I have had since we met. Darlisa coaches. I coach. I'm an educator. She's an educator. But it's never been, when we both approach the situation, it's never been the thought that we couldn't share the same space, collaborate, be in the same circles. It's never been a thought. We've always been intentional about figuring out what's great about her figuring out what's great about me. And then when we run into other people, we go, this is, you need to be talking to Darlisa, or you need to be because a lot of times people want to compete.
Well, so we had this conversation earlier. Just because we talked about different resources that are available, and somebody will say, oh, well, they do this or they do that. The reality is, until you have a real conversation with somebody and dive deep, you don't know what they really do. And then when you find out what they do, although all three of us do some of the same things, we do it absolutely different, and we have different strengths in it. So we're never going to be competing, collaborating, but never competing.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. And there's so much out here for everybody, you know. I used to, this is a transparent moment. When I was younger, I used to get picked on, right? Because I like making friends, right? And I never wanted to make people mad. And so If they wanted it, I would just back off. I wouldn't even go for it anymore. And to a certain degree, I'm still like that. No, I don't get picked on anymore. But I realize, okay, if that's what they want, there's something else for me, and I'm gonna go get it, and I'm gonna get it in my own way,
Yeah.
And then, okay, now if they start coming after my new thing, then I may have a problem,
Right,
you
right,
know.
right.
But I posed this question in one of my groups. And you know how people are always saying, stay in your lane, I stay in my lane. And I was guilty of saying that too, right? But they posed a question of, what lane are you in? What lane? Can you define your lane? So while people are like, I stay in my own lane, okay, tell me about your lane.
Right.
And
You are so right.
it
Right.
really did make us think like, okay, that is a good question, because when you look at a street, your lane is still going to look like my lane. So when I'm describing my lane, I'm probably describing yours too. So what does it mean to stay in your lane if you don't even know the
So,
difference between the lanes?
so does that mean you need to evaluate your lane and where you are? Right.
Exactly.
Well,
So
there
that was a whole great conversation, that we had. And
Right.
and it was very thought provoking. So as leaders, yeah, or whatever, innovators, whatever. Yeah, we do have our lanes, but we have to understand too, your lane is going to cross somebody else's lane at some point. The only thing you need to worry about is, can you steer the car?
Oh, all right.
You know
Can
what?
you
Exactly.
can you steer the car?
Yeah.
I think for entrepreneurs in their business and personally,
Hmm.
it's a time of evaluation.
Hmm.
Period.
Right now, for sure. Right now. And I'll add to what you said about the lanes because that's one of the things that I say, stay in your lane. But I'll add to that to say, not just defining your lane, but define your destination
Right.
Yeah.
because we might be in the same lane today. But at some point, I'm veering off. I'm taking this exit, and you might keep straight because we're going to two different destinations. Like, what is your destination? Because guess what? We might be able to carpool
Right.
part of this trip,
That's right.
and then I got to get off because I got to hit this exit
Right.
because my destination is different than your destination. But why can't we carpool? And I think that's a great analogy of collaboration.
I was going to say collaboration. We could win, 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 and
Yes.
still support each other as we go our different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
and now that
And
I go ahead.
and that shows too, it may take some people longer to get to their particular destination. So I like that too.
Absolutely. But here's the other piece of it. Because if I'm leaving Arlington, Texas, and I am going on 30 going west, right? There's a whole number of places I could end up at on 30 going west. But guess what? Darlisa might leave and Reggie might leave, and we all might leave at the same time, 30 going west, coming from Arlington, Texas. But none of that means we're going to the same. It's
That's
highly
right.
highly likely that none of us are going to the same
Three
destination.
different places.
Somebody might be going home. Somebody might be going to Killeen. Somebody might be going
get
to
some dessert.
Saginaw.
Dessert.
Somebody going to get dessert. We know who's going to get dessert.
Man.
Well, what's your destination?
Right.
Like, where are you going? Because here's the other thing. Now we carpool down to, let's say, Cook's Lane, right?
Mm-hmm.
We carpool to Cook's Lane, and then we get out, and we're gonna get in our own individual car because we collaborated, we got there together.
Mm-hmm.
But then guess what? When I got out the car, I ran into somebody that said, I'm going to get some dessert. I said, wait, well, let's bring Reggie down
Mhm.
because she on her way to get some dessert. Because that's what I feel like our work is.
Mhm.
Our work is to figure out what our lane is, what our destination is, how we can collaborate with other people to get as far as we can. That doesn't mean we're going to the same destination, as far as we can on this journey together. And then when I encounter other people, I can say, hey, here's somebody else you can connect with
Mhm.
to carry you a little further on your journey. And I think that is what we don't do as much as we should, but I think that's one of the key things that's going to help business owners right now win during this pandemic.
So we haven't done it as much, but I think also we haven't had the right conversations. Most conversations are very surface oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Now we need to take the time to figure out who a person is and what they do and how you can help one another.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. I like what you said, like now is a great time to evaluate. And evaluation on so many levels, right? One thing for sure, when COVID first hit, I don't care who you are, you had to evaluate your life from the faith, from the financial, from the physical. Evaluations had to be done. It impacted all of us
The
and
whole wide world.
the whole wide world. And so I love that word evaluate, because if we can't get to a point where we are evaluating ourselves and what we're doing, it's it makes it tough, right? And so that's one appreciation I do have for the pandemic and the whole COVID thing, because we were going along life and literally we had to pause,
Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah.
Mhm.
everybody, and evaluate our next move.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I love that you're saying we need we need to evaluate ourselves, because that's exactly what had to happen. Everything had to be reevaluated.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And evaluation is not a one-time thing. It is a consistent thing on the journey. It's like UPS, right? Every time that man drops a package off at the door, or a woman, they got to look at their little thing to see, evaluate what's the next stop and what's my next route. Or when they're getting out of their truck, do I take this one package or do I take the 3 packages because I'm going to make this route? Evaluation needs to always consistently be happening, especially when you're a business owner. If you're not, let me tell you one evaluation I do every day.
Mhm.
I pray first. I
Mhm.
pray first. Me and Jesus get together first. We do what we
Mhm.
gonna do.
Right.
And number 2, check the money. Evaluate the money situation. Look at all the
Yes.
money situations and make sure everything is
It's
in
there.
order. It's my grandma used to say, everything is left. She would say, and that's how a TI is. Make sure it's left how a TI
Right.
is.
It's all tied together.
There
You know
you
how
go.
they used to tie it and knot it?
Yeah. Let me tell you something. Number 1,
All there.
well, because then I can evaluate my day and I know how to start. Because if this dime is missing, then the first call is to the bank. Yeah,
Right.
somebody got
Right.
my dime. Because
Right.
here's the thing. But here's the other thing,
And
though.
that's
Somebody will take a dime the first time,
right.
but
I
the
was
next
just gonna
time
say,
they're gonna
right.
take a couple $1,000 because they
Right.
tested the dime.
Right.
And what we don't do that evaluation.
But I think a lot of people are so afraid to evaluate because change will have to occur.
Mm-hmm.
But if we've never been to this place before. And I think if we embrace it, we can get through our evaluation process a whole lot better.
Yeah.
And he's going to put us in a better place.
Mm-hmm.
I think everything that's happened is so purposeful.
Yeah.
So let's get in alignment and start doing what we're supposed to do in our personal lives and in our business. Maybe it's no longer time to serve that industry anymore. And this whole COVID experience may be a way to redirect. You're pivoting, so redirect in the direction you're supposed to be. Don't don't say that you're pivoting or you're trying to pivot and you're really not making any changes because you
Yeah.
think it's going to go back. It may not ever go back to what you knew it was before. And so this is your time to evaluate and change.
So how has your center changed or pivoted during this time?
Great question. So for one, we were in person. Most of our classes, courses, workshops were in person. We did a lot of networking and whatnot. So we have transitioned not fully to virtual, but kind of like a hybrid style. But we do offer one element. So two offerings now. We will have an in-person and now a virtual core program. And then during this time, so prior to COVID hitting, we were in the works of, expanding, but it allowed us to start our like an online community prior to getting into our actual physical space. So now we have a dynamic online community of resource sharing and networking. So we've figured out how to connect people without them physically meeting. So we created the Center NTX, or the Center North Texas, and it has just allowed us to virtually connect with people all over the world. So we have eyes on what we're doing now, and it is such a blessing from an international standpoint, which is something honestly that I was not focused on prior to the whole pandemic happening. It was like, I want to get the local market because people need help here, and here's our focus. I don't want to get too big too quick. So, but we have an international audience now.
Very good.
I love that. And I love the center. And so if you're a business owner and you're listening, what's the web address? That you should be checking this out and potentially listing yourself and your business on that site as well.
Absolutely. So it is open to any business owner, stakeholder, community student, whomever. If you want a place to connect with other people, you can go to the center ntx.com, and it will show you the different facets of what we're doing. From the NTEETC side, the education side, we are focusing solely on programming out of that entity. And the Center North Texas will be the physical location of our services. So that's where a lot of our engagements and things like that will happen. So I definitely encourage anyone listening. It is a free profile. It's a personal profile, and you can list your company on there. And I do have a testimonial. So I was on a call with someone, and they were talking. It was like, yeah, because I connected with X, Y, and Z because I saw her on your platform, and I reached out to her on LinkedIn, and I was like, yes,
Yes.
yes, like
Yes.
that's exactly what it's for. And we don't have to be involved in it, right? If you go to that site and you're reading and you're seeing these people and their products and services, that's what ecosystem building is all about. If you
Absolutely.
need your nails done all the way through, you want a barbecue sandwich, that dessert, whatever, it's and that's what the online profile is. So the center NTX is where you can go.
I love that. And I love the idea. One of the two things that we use every day that we don't know how to use is money and social media.
Mm.
That's the truth. And I love the fact that the Center NTX is created a situation where somebody could find somebody and then go connect with them on social media. So they have a real connection and a real reason to be connecting with them. So there's real engagement, because one of the frustrating things, at least for me, about social media is I probably have a following collectively of about 22,000 people. But how many of those people are actually engaging If we engage, then everybody stands to win when we actually engage. But there's not a lot of that happening. We're more looking at the number of friends and followers we have and using that to say this is the success metric. But the success metric is really how many relationships are you building through these connections that you have, and are you approaching these connections in a way that says I want to build a relationship with you? Because that's one of the things that's one of my pet peeves. I listen, I teach all the time, especially on LinkedIn, when people say, hey, thank you for connecting, so I got this thing I want to sell you, blah 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 blah.
Oh, I do not like that. Oh,
nobody likes a pushy salesperson, whether you're in a store or on social media. Stop doing it.
Please say it again for the people in the back.
Stop doing it. Nobody likes it. I don't like it. Anybody who's serious about what they do probably doesn't like it. But guess what? When I connect with you, I ask the same question I ask all of the time. Thank you for connecting with me. Tell me what your superpower is. Now, you can respond in one or two ways. My superpower is putting both feet behind my neck, and I can sit there for 10 minutes. That's my superpower. Or my superpower is, hi, thank you for asking. I sell blah, 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 blah. That is not your superpower. It's not. Stop trying to sell me stuff. And find out who I am, because at this point, you're selling for your benefit as opposed to trying to solve my problem. You don't even know if I got a problem.
And you'll never get to how you could work with or help one another. Or others, or collaborate to help others.
Or maybe I know other people you can help. But since you ain't interested in knowing whether or not I have a problem or they have a problem because you're just trying to sell something, well, we'll just leave it at that. And that message just sits there and it doesn't get a reply because I'm not interested in being sold. I'm interested in being
my pet peeve with all of that, with that LinkedIn that send you, are you open to other business opportunities?
Darlisa, you mean to tell me you not open to other business opportunities?
And when I get those, I instantly want to reply, why? Like, why? Why? Like, if you read a person's, and it's not that I'm not open to other business opportunities, right? But whoever came up with that as a theory should have explained, this is what a whole bunch of people are doing. They're asking people for other business opportunities. And I like to say I've been a part of several business ventures, right? But to be perfectly honest, I don't understand how people can say that they have at one time 12 businesses, but they're still looking for all this extra stuff. Now, there's the multi-level that works for itself. And, if it's set up, I get that. But if you're still trying to build teams and you're still trying to do all of this, no, I don't want, I'm not open to all these business streams. I'm trying to focus, if I have
multiple streams of income is not having 27 business. That ain't what it is.
Baby, listen. I want that to be my superpower, where I can have all these businesses, not streams of income. I want to be able to have all these businesses so I can answer all of those people's LinkedIn questions. Yes, I'm open to yours, his, hers, theirs, everybody's. That is the one question that burns me up. Do you keep your options open?
Did you not read and then this is what I love. They say they read your profile. Oh, Now, for me, I am a serial entrepreneur. I have 3 businesses. If you understand my 3 businesses, you understand they all work together, which is why.
Exactly.
And I've worked for a long time, and I've got 3 sets of teams that help me run these businesses. If you see that on my profile, can you tell me why?
Right.
I mean, no, I'm not open to other opportunities. That's there.
I don't have time.
Right.
Oh.
Yes, yes. We're not being negative, Nancy. But what we are saying is make it make sense, bruh.
Mhm.
Like, don't send me a message to say, have you ever thought about becoming an author? Number 1, I'm already an author. I've published 3 books. And number 2, I own a publishing company. So, yes and no. Been there, done that. Like,
Right.
did you read
Right.
the profile, guys? You probably didn't. So guess what? I'm not interested in being your friend because my friends
Right.
do their due diligence.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, there's a book for that. Power Connector is very good.
There is a book for that. Power
Very good.
Connectors
Right.
is very good.
Social media is one thing, but you have to connect and it has to make sense. And there's a method to the
You know what
you can
drives me crazy?
evaluate your content.
You can evaluate your content. Let me tell you something. You know, nothing drives me crazier than the person who just treads adamant about meeting with you, and then you meet with them and they,
Oh, no.
it's crickets on the phone.
Mm.
It's awkward. And I'm just like, this was a colossal waste of my time. So help me understand why are we doing this?
Or they're not even attentive to the phone call or the conversation that they requested.
Right. No, be intentional. Be intentional.
present.
Here's the other thing. So I was a rep for Primerica. I was I almost cussed. I was a really great rep for Primerica. I still have, nearly 3 years later, clients that still call me for advice or whatever. I was great. I was intentional though. I'm a nerd, so I studied. I wasn't just out selling something I didn't know anything about and believing what everybody was telling me and regurgitating it. But I was intentional about what I was doing. I didn't send a random message to anybody because here's the other thing. I don't want to just work with anybody who's going to tell me yes. I don't want to do that because you're going to come in and impact my team and impact my work and impact my day, and you're going to get the gift of my time. And so who am I willing to give the gift of my time to? And so I would teach my team members that we don't talk to everybody. We're not out to help everybody. Who are we setting out to help? That doesn't mean that somebody that comes up to you that wants help, that's going to give you money, you're going to tell them no. But be intentional about what you're doing. It's the same thing with social media. When you see and not just social media, with your business too. So I have people tell me 2 of my books have been out for I think 2 or 3 years. I can't really remember. But I still have people go, oh man, I haven't bought your book yet, but I'm gonna buy it one day. Well, I always say I don't want you to buy it if it's not something you need. I'm not asking you to waste your money just because my name is on the cover. Granted, I appreciate it, but I want you to be a good steward. And a lot of times we break up friendships, relationships, and everything else because somebody didn't patronize or well, they didn't need what you have. And so don't hold people accountable for getting whatever it is that you have just so you can make $2.
Right.
That's a great point. One of the things that we teach throughout our program, all of it, all the entrepreneurs that we work with, not like clients, but the businesses that we work with, is coming away from that freemium model, right? The biggest question that we have is you're going into a business, right? And it's only a business because you will generate revenue, right? So how can you go into starting a business where you will generate revenue thinking that everyone should give you something for free. That baffles me, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and you get the same people that want all of this stuff for free. Yes, free is good. Free is wonderful. But if you're starting a business and if everybody pays the freemium package,
Mm-hmm.
will your business grow?
Right.
Right.
So,
Right.
it goes, I love that you made that example because people need to understand that, and it's like, I get what you're saying totally. Like, it's not about just pacifying a person, right? If it's not something that you need, okay, say that. But then, okay, maybe refer them to someone.
Yes.
If you don't want to pay for it, or, you feel like you're just doing me a favor, I would rather you not.
Yes.
But can you tell somebody about it who's going to get
Yes.
value
Yes.
from the services that I perform, or, vice versa? Because it doesn't do any good to anybody if somebody purchases it and then it sits and it's on the shelf and you never talk about it again, because now the next person doesn't understand the benefit of it. So you
Yes.
just wasted your time and money
Yes.
when all you had to do was say, hey, but I know a guy that could benefit from it.
Absolutely. And be intentional, be intentional about what you're doing, because when you can help somebody, it's just like social sharing. You know, everybody is not, you don't tag everybody on your list in whatever this post is. Be intentional about who you tag. Do they have anything to do with this? Is this going to help them in any way? Who are you sharing stuff with? Are you sharing it with the people who could benefit from it? The other people in your family who talk about having a business, who have a business, are you sharing those things you come across like red light and stuff like that? Are you being intentional about it? Because the seed you plant is the fruit you yield. You cannot plant an apple seed and get an orange. You cannot do that. And then when you talked about the freemium thing, so the flip side of that is, now I do believe that there's a proper way to comp. Notice I said comp and not free. To comp, because comp comes from the word compensation, right? So you're compensating them for something. Let me tell you something, if you got a mentor, if you got somebody who pours into you, who gives to you, if you have an aunt and uncle or friend or somebody who always has your back, those are the people that you comp whatever it is to. Those are the people you want to make
Loyalty.
sure. Yes, but you're getting something in return. This is an exchange. So one of the things I say to entrepreneurs all the time, everything you have, your time, your money, your gifts, your talents, your resources, your everything you own, everything you have, your words, your thoughts, all of it is seed.
Right.
When you take that seed and you give it away, are you burying it in the ground so it will yield fruit, or are you just throwing it in the trash? And every decision in your business needs to be made using that what am I doing with this seed? Am I growing it, or am I throwing it away?
Absolutely. I could not agree more. That goes back to the biblical principles, right? Where are you, sowing your seed? Are you sowing it into good ground, or are you trying to sow it in the rocks?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's my daughter and I, we experienced kind of a thing with that. We've been going to a particular braider for years since we've been down here. And it's like every single time she goes up, like she's going up. Well, I mean, we refer people to her. My daughter, that's all how she wears her hair all the time. Braids, braids, braids. And she continues to go up, go up, go up. And it's like, we've been sending you people for years. We're consistent. And there was one time we had an issue with, our braid situation. And she was like, No, actually, it's going to be higher. But listen, I will start a new relationship with somebody way different because it is about loyalty. And if somebody, I again love what you said, if somebody is sewing into you, if
Yeah.
someone is helping you to build and someone is, trying to get you to that next level, yeah, give them a discount. Let them do it for free. And if you know that they can't afford something, so into them, right?
Yes.
But I'm sorry for the ones that just want free premium.
Well, and that gives you a chance to do customer loyalty
Yeah,
and or set up different automatic payments. If they come 4 times, they get a discount or whatever. So she has an opportunity to do a lot of things, but she's going to lose her
Yeah,
clientele.
which is sad. Now, and here's the other thing about freemium that I feel like if somebody comes to me who hasn't really supported me or anything, and they're looking for a discount simply because they know my name or they're in some way, shape, or form connected to me, then my thought is help me understand why you believe that it is okay for you to take resources from my family. Why do you not feel like my family is worthy? Or why are you not supporting me and caring for and growing my family? What about me says that I'm not worth you helping me to do this thing for my family? Why do I owe you that? And why don't you care enough about me to say, I'm going to support you in supporting your family? Because at the end of the day, that really is what it is.
yep,
It annoys me when um, like I know a girl who worked for a job, and at her job she got a discount, and she got her sister a discount, and then she ended up being fired. Well, your sister now about to pay your bills, so now you're out of a job because you gave them. Why would you go ask them to violate something that could result in this? And you might have gotten away with it 100 times, but it's that 101 time that why are you asking someone to give up their livelihood
Right,
so that you can hold on to a couple more of your dollars?
right.
Yeah. So
that's good.
That's
That's
a
good.
whole nother show.
that's a whole.
And
That's
even
good.
we mentioned time and what to do with our time and how not to waste our time. That needs to be on the program.
Yeah, we need
That's
to talk
That's
about that.
good.
Yes. So, Darlisa, we always ask this question: what made you connect with Red Development
So, like you mentioned before, you and I kind of met and we've, hit it off. It's always been like a win-win situation. I had the privilege of meeting Miss Reggie on a couple different occasions too, and I love what you guys are doing, right? I told somebody this, and I said, you guys make coaching sexy. It is, it is. It's that suave, it's that down to earth, but at the end of the day, you're going to come away with what you need for your business. It's real talk. It's not sugar coated. And I love that about you guys. I love the fact that you guys are real, and you relate on a bunch of different reasons. So I just enjoy you two as individuals, and I think what you're doing is amazing.
Group? Yeah.
And
Well,
I
thank
like that. The what is it, the MBA class
you.
for
NBA for
entrepreneurs?
CEOs. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, I think that is awesome. Um, so the area that I'm in, like the people that we work with are not at that stage yet. But I think it's so amazing to be able to help them and grow
Right.
them. Like, okay, so you've done this. Now you're ready for this next level. And I know by passing them to that next level, they'll still be handled with care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And that's important to me.
Yeah, and that's what I love about our connection with you, because we don't work with startups. That's not
Mhm.
our work. But we get people who come to us all the time. If you knew how many times I had given out your contact information, you'd be like, you know what, lady,
Yes.
you gave it to everybody, because people come to us because they see us as a resource. And oftentimes as business owners, we don't know how to evaluate whether or not we're even ready for a resource or if that's the right resource for us. But because we collaborate and we have all these connections, I know that I can send them to Darlisa and they're going to be good. I know that without a
Same.
shadow of a doubt. You're going to hold them accountable, because at the point that you send them back to us, they already understand this is about real work. We ain't playing no games. So yeah, when you get there, it's gonna be the same thing. So I love that. We love what you're doing. Kudos to you. I
Likewise.
say it all the time.
Thank
I'm
you.
so proud of you. Everything you're doing, I support whatever, however we can be able to support to you, because you're doing stuff that a lot of people wouldn't do or would be afraid to do.
Right.
But the other thing is you hold people accountable. You don't care what their titles are,
Right.
none of that. And that,
Right.
because business is important to you. And we share that same heartbeat. So I'm
I try to do it in a nice way, though. I try to
Sometimes
do
we
do.
can't be nice.
You do.
I try to do it in a professionally nice way, though.
You do.
Well, sometimes Reggie tells me that I need to be a little nicer, but sometimes you just can't be. You know what I mean?
You know what? You have to do what you have to do. But I'm excited that you have a global
Yes.
presence now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited
Yes.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Thank
that goes back to what I said about embracing this whole COVID thing. Evaluate. Where
Yeah.
are you? What can you do different?
Yes.
That's something that came organically.
Yeah. Yes.
And it was a blessing.
Yeah.
It truly was. But however, if I had not those seeds, it goes back to those seeds that you talked about. If I had not sowed those seeds prior to COVID,
Come on.
because I thought my well was running dry, you hear me? When COVID hit, that opened our well up because we were ready and we sowed those seeds way before COVID hit.
Yeah.
And so that is what helped us to get to the point. You know, if I could have been international or global, whatever, at the beginning, awesome. But I wasn't ready. And so by doing and being intentional and, staying and keeping the course, staying the course, when it was time, we were ready.
Yeah.
Very good.
Napoleon Hill said that trouble opens the door to opportunity.
That's right.
But our goal is to find the seed. Opportunity is not there, but the seed of it is. And that's exactly what's happened. And he also said that trouble causes a transfer of resources. And he talked about the Great Depression and things like that, and how the transfer of wealth happened, the transfer of ideas happened, and all of that. So here's what I will say, and then we will close. If for whatever reason you're in business or you just lost your job and you know in your heart that you are supposed to be starting a business, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptation. Because right now is the time. Your brain is more creative when it starts figuring out how to solve a problem. When no problem exists, we just kind of coast, which is where we've been. But now that we have this problem called a pandemic, or that's causing loss of jobs and loss of life and all of these different things, your brain right now is more creative, because every day you're faced with a new problem. Use the energy to figure out where you're supposed to be. Darlisa said it. She went to God and said, what am I supposed to be doing? Obedience is greater than sacrifice. Be obedient. Open your heart, open your mind. Change is inevitable. It is the only thing that is constant. Change is constant. Open your mind, open your eyes, open your ears, be ready to move, because transfer of wealth happens during periods like this. We were all created for such a time as this. We were all created to live this day, live this experience for a reason. So you have everything you need. You have everything you need. You have everything in you to not just survive this, but thrive during it. But if your focus every day is to see the negative of it all, you will absolutely miss the seed in the trouble, because seeds are small, fine, and tiny. Trouble is big. You got to have your sights on to be able to see the seed that you can take and then plant to create whatever your harvest is going to be. So I challenge every one of you that every time something negative comes your way, you open your eyes, you open your ears, you open your heart, and you become determined to find the seed. Because what I know for absolute sure is if you find the seed and you plant it on good ground, you will have a harvest that you cannot contain. Because remember, your harvest is not about you. Your harvest is about you and all of those around you, because the blessings overflow and you can't do anything with the overflow because you can't have contain what's inside of the container. So the overflow goes to other people. But if your heart's not open, your eyes aren't open, your ears aren't open, and you're not willing to be obedient, to go do the work and be diligent without and sacrifice. This takes lots of sacrifice. Time, talent, energy, everything. If you're not willing to do that, you will never see the transfer. Right now is a time of transfer. This has been 2020. I said at the beginning of the year is going to be huge. This has been the best year in business for me. And I've been doing this for 6.5 years. It's been the best year, the best time. I have not only have my businesses multiple, all of them grown, but we're creating jobs. We're finding opportunities, we're presenting opportunities, we're building the connections we need to connect, to build, and we're leveling up. And so with that, if you are a giant, you know you're a giant. Nobody has to tell you. There's a lot of people who say they're giants. I ain't talking to the boss ladies. I'm not talking to them, right? Because if you want to be a boss, you ain't willing to be a giant. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to be nobody's boss. I want to be the owner. That's all I'm saying, right? I'm talking to the giants. If you are a giant and you want to get into space with other giants, stay connected to Red Development Group. Go to our website. Make sure that you're on our mailing list. Send us a message in our contact form. Send us something in Messenger or something like that to let us know you want to be connected, because we're about to launch this mastermind group and it's going to be an application process. But this group is going to be a group of masterminds, not what everybody else is talking about. Not everybody can't get in. We don't care how much money you try to give us. But it's all about coming together, creating this level of synergy with a group of people who know without a shadow of a doubt that they are going to win. And winning is giving the world your greatness. So stay tuned. We'll give you more detail, but let us know if you want to be connected with that, because we're connected with women all over the world. And there's going to be a select few. It ain't that many seats, 25, and that's going to be the end of that. 25, but they're going to be 25 women from all over the world who are doing major things. That is who's going to be in this mastermind group. We leave you with a quote. This quote is from the good Tony Dungy. He good looking, you know. He's easy on the eye. That's all I got to say. Anybody who knows me know I love football. But Tony Dungy says, "No excuses, no explanation. You don't win on emotion. You win on execution."
And what are we talking about next week?
Next week we're talking about planning. The week after that, we're talking about execution.
That's right. We're talking about execution, yes. But let me just say that what she just said was called red word. That was just a word. I
was thinking the same thing. I'm like, girl, you gave a word there.
The prayer. If you guys didn't catch it, I caught it. I don't know who is watching that needed that. but that was just a word for somebody's.
Yeah,
Okay.
I felt that. I
And
was gonna say the same thing. I'm like,
Yes.
you gave a word there, girl.
Yes. I was
and
like
if
it's
you
the rock.
listen,
Yes.
what I know for sure, I got chills all over my arm. What I know for
Mm-hmm.
sure is if you listen, it is going to change your life. And
Yes.
I am going to be looking forward to the day that I get a message from whoever
Yes.
it is that message is for, that says you said something that day and it changed my life, and here's how. I'm telling you what I know for sure,
Mm-hmm.
for absolute sure, without a shadow of a doubt, because it was my same story, my same journey. I started with nothing, ended up homeless. And I ain't just saying that. I'm
Right.
saying that's exactly what happened to me. No car, went from dang near six figures, everything, to nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and had to start something from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It is possible.
Mm-hmm.
The only real seed you need is the one up here.
Right.
But there's other seeds around it,
Yes.
and you got to be willing to go mine those seeds.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that's the word for today. We're going to be taking
Yes.
offering via
Yes.
Cash App.
Look, that's a whole nother drop the mic. We could just look,
Listen.
kumbaya.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's
So
done.
thank you,
Selah.
Darlisa, for coming to hang out with us. We always love
Mhm.
hanging out with you. We got some good stuff coming up. You don't even know about it, but you
Yes,
find out about it.
we
You
go.
know about it. You find out about it. You're going to be like, what? Yes, we did.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward. Thank you guys so much for the opportunity to be on today. Continue doing what you're doing. I love it. Black girls rock. We got
I'm
magic.
just,
Everybody rocks, but
I'm just,
black girls rock. We got the magic. And I just appreciate you guys for the opportunity today.
we
Thank
appreciate
you.
you too. So, guys, remember to connect with us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on Twitter, and we got our blog and we got our interns. The Red Forest is about to go hard on the blog, so y'all need to make sure y'all watching that. Make sure that you are getting our newsletter because our contributors are amazing. And every contributor, every article is 250 words or less. So it ain't gonna take up your whole life, but it gave you exactly what you needed. Or the videos are 3 minutes or less. So we don't take up because you got work to do. So make sure that you're connecting, make sure you're getting our newsletter, all of that good stuff and whatnot and what have you. This has been Red Light with your girl Colette Portis and my amazing partner,
Reggie Stearns Kemp.
yes.
Selah.
And until next time,
Mm.
say la.
Yeah. Bye, Darlisa. Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. We are so excited that you decided to take some of your time and spend it with us. You know, people say that time is money, but we don't believe that because there's no amount of money that you can spend to get your time back. Time is invaluable. And so we appreciate the fact that you took some of your time and spent it with us. That means a lot. And we hope that it was time well spent. Listen, we are on purpose about disrupting the status quo, helping you to become a sound, solid, sustainable business owner, helping you to build and grow your legacy, and bringing together the resources, the tips, the tools, the tricks, all of that stuff that will help you do that. And so we hope today that you got some of that. But the work is just beginning. There's 3 stages to this. You have to evaluate, you have to plan, and you must execute. So do yourself a favor, do us a favor. Go to reddevelopmentgroup.com or redwomen.win and do your business diagnosis. There's a link right on, there's a pop-up that will come up so you can do your red business diagnostic that is going to help you determine right where you are in business. Because the only way to get to where you're going is to first know where you are and where you're starting. So evaluate your business. And then next, go to Amazon, go to ColettePortis.com, get your goalie bundle. This is how you're going to write your plan, not just any old plan, an effective plan that tells you and your team and those who work with you what needs to be done in your business every day in order to execute the business of your business. We want you to show up and be great. We want your greatness to show up in your business. We believe that you are great and nobody else can do what you do to the level that you can do it in. But you first have to evaluate where you are, create a plan, and then execute the plan. And then don't forget to follow us. Come back next time. Follow us on LinkedIn. Follow us on Instagram. Connect with us on Facebook. Find us on YouTube. Wherever you can find us, connect with us. We have a blog where we're pushing out great information, not just from us, but all of the experts that are in our network are there to feed you the things that will cause your greatness to explode out of you. So show up, be great, be the best at what you're the best at, and connect with Red so we can keep feeding you the tools, tips, and tricks and resources that will help you do that. Until next time, we will see you on the other side. Have a great day.